What's going on, Seahawks? Welcome back to another episode of Seahawk Central Sports. It's full speed ahead for spring sports now, right, Aaron?
Absolutely, Neil. And the Seahawk Central Sports team has the rundown on each and every one of those teams right here. First, here's Dylan with your update on baseball.
Fresh off a sweep of the Hughes Brothers Challenge, the Diamond Hawks looked to keep the momentum rolling as they first hit the road to take on NC State. It did not go as planned, to say the least, as it was just domination from the start, with the 13th ranked Wolfpack starting off the game with a 3-1 homer, courtesy of Devontae Brown, which would serve as foreshadowing for what went down on this day. Our pitchers took a pretty good beating, as a total of 7 pitchers were used during the game, with starter Brody Lawson taking an L in the box score, along with the Seahawks tallying only 4 strikeouts to NC State's 11, and 11 would be part of the final score, 11-0. UNCW's road trip took them out of state last weekend to see the Kentucky Wildcats, and the Wildcats actually had a 127-game scoring streak. However, the key here is had, as it was the Seahawks doing the shutting out this time around. Starting pitcher Zarion Sharp was the main composer of this shutout, giving 7 strong innings and mowing down 4 Wildcats, en route to his second win on the young season. At the plate, a trio of Matt Suggs, Cole Weiss, and Jack Kroom would combine to go 8 of 13 with 6 RBIs and 6 runs on the day. Our boys get their first win against the SEC team since 2004 and in a big way. 8-0 Seahawks. To continue the theme of shutouts, pitchers Landon Rupp and Adam Smith combined to allow a grand total of 3 hits to the Wildcats on Saturday. The bats were contained for most of the day, as it was an error from Kentucky that sent 2 Seahawks in the score that accounted for most of the offense. However, that would prove to be enough as the Seahawks win another one, 3-0. Sunday's finale wouldn't bring another shutout, but instead, the Seahawks lineup would bring their bats. UNCW's bottom 4 batters in the lineup would combine for 8 of the team's 12 hits. The tandem of Kip Brandenburg and Trevor Marsh would really lead their mark on this game, as Brandenburg, the North Carolina transfer, hit his first dinger of the season. And Marsh had 2 doubles of the day, including one of the 2-run variety in the Seahawks' 5-run second inning. The Seahawks complete the sweep 7-4. Baseball has been back in Wilmington this week, as our now 9-3 Seahawks welcome NC Central earlier this week and will host a 3-game series with Memphis starting today at Brooks Field. Hey, Brian, how's the basketball team doing?
Well, Dylan, Thursday night, the men's basketball team took on Drexel University at Trask Coliseum, hoping to win in front of their home crowd after a huge win last weekend against Charleston. The Seahawks started off slow, only putting up 29 points in the first half, but played good defense to keep Drexel within 5. The freshman guard, Shaquem Phillips, was in his bag and said, "Let me get mine," as he turned it up in the second half, recording 18 of his 20 points, making it a career high for him, as well as collecting a total of 4 steals on the defensive end. Also noted, he didn't give up a single turnover within 25 minutes. Given Phillips' stellar play, he has been named the CAA Rookie Player of the Week for the 3rd time this season. Also, we got to see a great scoring output from Mike Okoro, putting up 16 points, and Jake Boggs getting involved with 11 for himself. They were able to outscore their opponent 47-31 in the second half, putting them on top 76-65. Saturday was the home finale for the Seahawks, going up against Delaware, hoping to end the season on a good note before heading into the CAA tournament. It was a battle in the beginning, with the lead changing 13 times before halftime. The big man Marty Lenson led the Seahawks with 19 points, but got into foul trouble in the second half, causing the Seahawks to struggle and the Blue Hens to open up the score. Delaware had 6 guys in the double figures that contributed to the team effort win, the Seahawks spoiling their home finale 82-65. The Seahawks look to have a fresh start mentality going into their first game of the CAA tournament against Drexel tomorrow afternoon in Washington, D.C. Let's get an update on softball. Dylan?
Well, Brian, 2 weeks ago, the softball team played host in the Seahawks Softball Classic. Last week, they again played host, this time in the Seahawks Softball Challenge. Yes, these are indeed 2 different events. Our girls got off to a hot start in day 1 as they started off with the Toledo Rockets. Starting pitcher Riley Pate was blasting the Rockets away. allowing just 2 hits and 7 strikeouts. The offense was cooking early as well with a 4-run first inning, including a 2-run single from Anna Knox to build a 4-0 lead in which UNCW will only expand on. Pate goes the distance in a complete game shutout. 8-0, Seahawks take the win. Game 2 would come down to the wire against Robert Morris University. Down 5-4 in the 8th, UNCW would capitalize off a couple RMU errors to steal the game away. 6-5, Seahawks take the win. Day 2 would prove to be a lot rougher than the day before. The offense particularly was just not there, as they would combine for just 3 runs on the entire day. Sophomore Jada Santiago served as a bright spot in Game 1, the rematch with Toledo, by going 2 of 3 and driving in 2. I don't think Toledo was very happy with their shutout from Friday, and they left it all out on the field. The Seahawks would fall 10-2. Not a lot of time to think on that loss, as the girls had to get back on the field to face the Marist Red Foxes. Going back to the bats being shut down, the Seahawks would muster just 2 hits on the second half of the doubleheader, one of which came from Janelle Gamash's team-leading 5th home run of the season. Not a good day for our girls, as they would take the L to Marist 5-1. The final game of the tourney against Robert Morris could represent the theme of their season thus far, as they could not get out of their own way. UNCW would tally 3 errors on the day and 8 left on base. And despite a 15 strikeout performance from Riley Pate and the bats waking up a bit, the Seahawks will fall to close out the tournament in a tight one, 6-5. Look, there's a lot of time to right the ship, but sitting at 4-14 on the season, the Seahawks will look to right that ship fast. They will look to start that mission this week, first against the North Carolina Tar Heels, and then they will again play host for the UNCW Softball Invitational, where Georgetown, Presbyterian, and North Dakota will be coming down to the Port City. Now, here's Brian with an update on women's hoops.
Yeah, Dylan. On the other end of the court, the women's basketball played Northeastern at home Friday night, trying to redeem themselves after losing to them earlier in the season up in Boston. Seahawk Central Sports producer Peyton Goodwin was on the call for this one as the play-by-play commentator. Congrats, boss. It was a huge night for the Seahawks. Redshirt senior guard Lacey Suggs scored her 1,000th career point off of a 3-pointer to open up the second half and displayed an 18-point, 6-rebound performance to help the Seahawks win 61-48. That wasn't the only Seahawk that was playing exceptionally well, as Gigi Smith put up 19 of her 21 points in the second half, shooting 45% from the field. Gigi Smith wasn't done yet, as she put up a 23-point performance on Sunday afternoon against Hofstra University. She shot 57% from the field, 3 of which coming from deep, showing off the range. Lacey Suggs also contributed with 12 points, making that her 8th time recording double figures in the past 10 games. 54 of the 56 points came from the 6 seniors on Sunday, putting it all out on the floor for the last time playing at Trask Coliseum. It was also a stellar performance on the defensive end, as the Seahawks rounded up 12 turnovers to end their home finale with an easy dub, 56-43. They look forward to playing their last 2 regular season games against Drexel and Delaware before heading into the CAA tournament. How did our Lady Hawks fare on their last matchup, Aaron?
UNCW's women's tennis team pushed past George Washington, winning 4-3 to end their 4-match losing streak this weekend. The Seahawks came away with the win thanks to freshman Brinley Bell's performance in her first collegiate match. She delivered with a 7-5, 2-6, 6-3 decision over Luciana Kunkel at the number 4 singles position. Next, the girls will travel to Greenville for a rivalry match as they face off against East Carolina. Now, here's an update on men's and women's track. Neil, what do you got?
Well, Aaron, men's and women's track and field put on a show in Georgia at the Savannah State Relays on Saturday, February 29th. Derog Crutchfield and Courtney Lyons took home gold in men's and women's long jump, while men's and women's triple jump events were won by Owen Pelletier and Tori Wimple. These Hawks, along with women's high jump winner Sarah Timberlake, seemed to take Leap Day to a whole new meaning. Sophomore Kaylee Vanoy took home gold in women's javelin, distance relay, and the 4x400 relay. Great job to the track and field squad, bringing back 10 total first-place finishes in one day. I would say Coach Claves is having an immediate impact based on these Seahawk performances. We'll keep you updated on their next event, the Wendy's Seahawk Invitational, right here in Wilmington, March 13th through the 14th. Aaron, how's beach volleyball going?
The beach volleyball team traveled to Georgia over the weekend for the Bears Beach Bash. The Seahawks saw split results on day 1 as they cruised past Chattanooga with a 5-0 win. where freshmen Rachel Schaefer and Katie Lands made their debut at the 5th pairing. They posted an impressive 21-13, 21-14 in the win. Another win at the 1st pairing brought senior Raquel Rooney up into a tie for 5th on UNCW's career wins list. Against Palm Beach Atlantic, the Seahawks lost 2-3, dropping the 2nd, 4th, and 5th pairing. On the 2nd and final day of play for the Seahawks, they pushed past the host school, Mercer, winning 4-1. Raquel Rooney and Bryn Montgomery set the tone with an impressive 21-19, 26-24 win. Next, the team will head to Florida for a pair of matches, including a shot at the nationally ranked Florida State. That's it for this week's episode of Seahawk Central Sports.
Don't forget about our Instagram and Twitter pages where you can catch highlights and athletic updates as they happen at TealTV_sports. We'll see you after spring break, so be safe, be real, and keep it teal.
And don't forget to tune in when we're back at it after the break. Have a good one, Seahawks.